What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, checking out some newly revealed cards from the upcoming Utopia structure deck. Still don't have any information, as far as I know, for the TCG release of this, but I'm guessing Konami is going to want to get this out before the end of the year. And I had said before, I was kind of wondering why 2021 was starting to feel like the secret year of Yuma. But yeah, apparently it's Zexal's 10th year anniversary. So all of this Utopia and Yuma support actually does make a lot of sense. Anyways, we knew about some of the cards before this because Konami did reveal the boss monster, the new Utopia, that can summon any number. We also know about the rank up card that lets you summon it. And yeah, we got a ZS XC monster now. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense because now we're getting, ZS monsters. So ZS need their own XC. This is ZS XYZ Sage. It's a rank 4 light warrior XC monster. I think you have the reverse Utopia stats on here, like Utopia double, where you have 2000 attack and 2500 defense. It requires 2 level 4 monsters, so basically like most of the Utopia rank 4s. And then the first effect is the hard once per turn. You can detach 2 materials from this card, special summon 1 ZW or ZS monster from your deck. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except XC monsters, nor attack except with number monsters. If a Utopia, second effect, if a Utopia or Utopic XC monster you control whose original attribute is light, other than this card, would be destroyed by battle or card effect. Well, I guess another copy of this card. You can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So this is a card basically that is supposed to proxy, or it's supposed to make it easier to get to your ZWs and your ZSs. I think I like it more for summoning ZS monsters because the 2 new ZSs, like the Sage cards that just came out of Blazing Vortex, those cards are really good. Like, they're both, like, neither one eats up your normal summon if you summon them with their effects, and then both cards, when you use them for XC summons, basically float into other cards. So they're very strong. My question is, am I really willing to go to, like, am I really wanting to make an XC monster just to get one of those guys out of my deck? Because you're still going to need like another extender to maybe go into like another Utopia after that. The ZS monsters are important, but I don't know. That seems like a pretty hefty investment. And good Lord, man, if this thing gets hit with like an Ash Blossom, I feel like you could be in a very, very bad situation. Also, Utopia is about to start struggling when it comes to extra deck space because there's just been so many good extra deck Utopia monsters that have been revealed since the start of this year. So I don't really know, like, I'm not saying this is a bad card because it's not a bad card. I just don't think that you're going to need to play this card. I think that if you don't have access to the ZS monsters, you just kind of work with the cards that you want. But this could possibly be a one of, I would say one of at most, because you're probably just looking to trigger this turn 1, whatever your turn 1 is, and that's basically it. We have an Infernity barrier for number monsters. This card's crazy good. This is Numbers Protect. It's a counter trap. It's a hard once per turn on all the effects. First effect, when a spell/trap or monster effect is activated and you control a number XC monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Second effect, if a number XC monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, and this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, so this card screams Salamangreat Great Roar, and it's almost identical in design because it has kind of like the same activation condition as Salamangreat Great Roar. Utopia, as far as I know, cannot instantly get to this card. There's no way to like basically search it. However, I don't think that that's actually going to be a very big issue. If you've ever seen Utopia play or you're familiar with it, you know XC Change Tactics is one of the cards they're always looking for in their first turn, and that's the card that lets them draw a card every time they XC summon a Utopia. So a lot of times they'll get anywhere from 3 to 5 draws with that card, and XC Change Tactics is also searchable from Generation Force. So it's I could see it being quite consistent to basically just hard draw into this card. The new rank up Magic Zexal Force, the one from Lightning Overdrive, that also gives you an additional draw when you're using XC Change Tactics. So sometimes they go like 6 cards deep, and having a number monster when you're playing Utopia, like having a number monster on field, is not going to be a problem. Yes, you're probably going to end on like a Leo Utopia Ray so that you have the double monster negation, but Also, you might make the new number 99, which is like the cover card of the structure deck. Not only is he a number monster, but then his effect also summons other number monsters like Hope Harbinger, etc., etc. So, having a number monster is not going to be a problem. And, you could even run this in other decks like, I don't know. I've talked before about like trains and, them with the new Astro Utopia. If you're able to get like Dora turn 1, that's immune to battle destruction and card destruction from your opponent, unaffected by basically everything because of her effect. And then you're also backing her up with, Infernity Barrier that can make those turn 1s even more potent. So I definitely like this card if you can, get access to it. Or I don't know, if you're just playing a deck that always wants to summon a number monster turn 1, I think that this is definitely worth like looking into, especially if you're playing other draw cards like Desires and stuff. If you banish it, no problem. If you draw it, then your turn 1s become super insane because Infernity Barriers always make first turns just that much better. Final card is another trap. This is a continuous trap, Contract of Destiny. This I don't know, this is just based on the name, it's kind of screaming like Don Thousand. So maybe it's from like the Barian arc. You can only use the second effect as a hard once per turn. First effect, each time a card or cards you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, place 1 Emperor's Key counter on this card, maximum of 1. Second effect, if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters from the extra deck, you can remove 1 Emperor's Key counter, which I guess is the only counter. Send 1 Door of Destiny from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard. Deck's kind of nice. And if you do, special summon 1 Light Utopia or Utopic Xyz monster from your extra deck. And if you do attach this card as a material, this is treated as a Xyz summon. So this feels like one of those cards that was probably really cute in the show. Well, what am I talking about? These are new cards. This feels like one of the cards that would be really cute in the show, but I just don't think, like, what practical application really is there for this card? In like the current way that Yu-Gi-Oh's played, why do I want to summon a Utopia during my opponent's turn? Utopia monsters are way, way, way better summoning during your turn. And obviously, like, if it was a quick play, then I guess if my opponent like torrentialed me or they destroyed my stuff during my turn, I'd instantly be able to trigger it, but it is a trap card, so it's going to have to be set a turn. So it's slow, it's reliant on your opponent, or it's reliant on cards on your side of the field being destroyed, and then you have to wait for your opponent specifically to summon from the extra deck. So it's a card that's, I guess, kind of just not only slow, but your opponent can just like play around. And even when you do get the effect off, like, I don't even know how highly insane like the ceiling is going to be. So I don't really like this card. I don't think any build should play it unless you're just like a Yuma fanatic and you want all the Utopia cards. But competitively wise, like, I don't think I would play this card. I'd play the counter trap, but I definitely wouldn't play this card. Anyways, whatever you guys think of the new Utopia stuff, you leave that in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always.